Let's start with what Michael looks like without his illusion disc. I'll explain his scars and injuries on this mannequin. Michael can rip his limbs off first of all because he's a corpse. He doesn't know why or how, but he can rip them off and reattach them. Plus, when Michael was killed by the scooper, it hit his jaw, causing it to come off and his neck to be broken. This is the reason why Michael can sometimes walk with his head bowed out of habit. If Michael wants, he can speak on his own without his head. You might be asking, what is this bald scarecrow? In fact, the author has not had an official AUK all this time. Simon's turn. Simon was kidnapped and killed by a cannibal. The kidnapper turned out to be a cannibal. He locked and tied Simon in the basement of his house in the woods. The kidnapper broke Simon's arm, then tore it off completely. A day later, the kidnapper entered the basement with a knife. He wanted to cut off his leg, but Simon still resisted. As a result, the cannibal stabbed him in the head. After a long 23 hours of pain, Simon died. The body was found only a week later. The cannibal was found. Now Mark, after the death of the crying child and Simon, he cut himself. Eventually, Mark couldn't take it anymore and killed himself. At 1 a.m., Mark wrote a message in a group chat with Frederick and Michael saying, "Don't blame yourself, I'm sorry." Then he took a handful of pills, popped them in his mouth, and went to the bathroom, then sat on the floor and closed his eyes. He never opened them again. Frederick worked with Michael as a security guard in FNAF 2. On the 5th night, he was killed by the animatronic Mangle. Mangle bit his head. As a result, Frederick died.